Annyeong! Welcome to Dollightful! Some of you may remember Neo here from a previous video. If you haven't seen her process yet, click her face now or the link in the description box below to watch her video. She's from Kakao Friends, and a lot of you really liked how she turned out and asked me to do another Kakao Talk character. Well, I have good news for Neo. I'm going to make her man, Frodo. Some of you have also asked me to make a male doll, so I'm knocking out 2 in 1. Who better to create Frodo from than Claude Wolf from Monster High? I don't know why he's got Nathan's pants, but whatever. All the materials I use are listed in the description box below. Let's get started. Take acetone nail polish remover and clean off the face with some Q-tips and tissues. Sorry I can't film this step for you. I cleaned off and prepared a bunch of dolls before I started my channel, so they've already got their faces off. Now, Claude's original hairstyle is pretty close to what I want, but it's not quite right, so I'm going to redo the whole thing. First, I'm going to cut off his mohawk. Then, pour boiling water over his neck area and gently tug off his head. Isn't it interesting how the male dolls have a different shaped neck peg from the females? To get the flocking off, I'm going to soak his head in some acetone for about 5 minutes. Then wipe it off with a toothbrush tool. As you can see, Claude has pointy ears. If we look at Frodo's emoticons, we can see he's got floppy ears. So it feels like a shame to cut off Claude's ears, but for the sake of accuracy, it must be done. I'm going to punch some new holes in his head where the flocking was, and then begin the rerooting process. This is my homemade rerooting tool. It's just a drill bit holding a nail cut at an angle. Slip on a plug and plunge it into the head. To secure the loose plugs, take Fabritac Glue and squeeze it into the head, using your free hand to push the plugs into the glue nozzle on the inside. Trust your sense of touch and cover all the plugs on the inside. Let him dry for a few minutes. The men's hairstyle I'm aiming for is one that I've seen all kinds of guys wearing here in Korea. It's a very popular haircut right now, so that's what I wanted Frodo to have. It gets really short by the neck, so I'm going to put flocking on the back of his head. But before I do, it's time to boil wash his hair into the correct style. Now, I actually used cheap, low-quality doll hair for Frodo on purpose. Why? It's very wiry and gets damaged, stiff, and frizzy when you pour boiling water on it. Usually those are all things you don't want, but this is an exception. Basically, I'm going to boil wash the hair into place, and there it shall stay forever. You know, I think I might just keep him like this. Just kidding. Time for a haircut. I don't have any professional flocking dust, so I'm going to make my own. Here's this fluffy black fabric I happen to have, and using sharp scissors, I'm basically going to chew up a small patch of this into teeny tiny fuzz bits. I'm using regular Elmer's glue to attach my homemade fluff. Take flocking off to put flocking back on. Oh yeah, I'm so smart about customizing. To make it look like his hair is black and he's bleached it to brown, I'm taking black ink and painting it on the roots of his hair. I picked up this trick from watching a video by Sugar Charm Shop. Time for his new ears. I'm going to make them out of this 2-part epoxy called Apoxie Sculpt. It takes about 4 hours to dry once you mix equal parts. Using acrylic paint, I'm going to paint the new ears to match his body and firmly attach them to the head using a 2-part epoxy glue. I love this stuff. Once you epoxy something together, it's never coming apart. Finally, it's time to give him a new face. Make sure to give the doll an initial spray of Mr.Super Clear before you start. This will give your pencils something to grab onto. I did this sketch beforehand to approximate what Frodo would look like. I begin by blocking in the shape of the eye with color close to the skin tone. This way I can erase it if I make mistakes before I go in with darker colors. If you want your doll to look forward, sketch the pupils closer to the tear duct than the outer eye. Beginners sometimes draw the pupil as a circle in the center of the eye, and it will end up making the doll look wall-eyed. Next up is the eyebrows. First, I hesitantly block it in the shape with pastel, and then make bolder hair strokes with a sharp pencil. If you get to a point where you want to save your progress or feel the color isn't building anymore, give the doll a fresh layer of Mr.Super Clear. To give him a very Korean look, I'm trying to draw in that underlid that many Koreans have. I think it looks really cute and very characteristic of a Korean face, but I'm struggling to make it look normal on the doll. Because I gave him a monolid and minimal eyelash detail, I'm working up the highlights and shading more than I usually would in order for him to appear as equally detailed as my girl dolls. This includes details like the tear duct and the lower waterline, and highlighting the edge of his brows and the top of his lips with a lighter pencil. Lastly, to brighten up his eyes a little more, I'm turning to watered down acrylic paint. After a final coat of Mr.Super Clear, add some Liquitex high gloss varnish to the eyes for a little something special. Before I can call him done, I've got to make his clothes. A lot of people seem interested in seeing some kind of clothing tutorial. It's on my to-do list for the future. But for now, I'm in a bit of a hurry, so this tutorial will have to wait for another time. Here's the completed Frodo! I'm still not sure how I feel about the under eyelids. In some lighting, I think, yeah, this looks realistic and nice. And then in different lighting, I think, oh, he looks like he hasn't slept in a couple days. Who knows, I might scrub them off later with an eraser or something. I'm really proud of his hair, though. I think I took on a big challenge with this short hairstyle, but managed to pull it off. Thank you so much for joining me for this custom. Tell me what you think about Frodo in the comment section below. I'm sure Neo is happy to have her boyfriend now. I'll see you in my next video. Stay artsy! Annyeong!